From CNBC, Trump joins Elon Musk in opposing House GOP's government funding bill. President-elect Donald Trump opposes a government funding bill backed by Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson. Trump's stance aligns with Elon Musk, who railed against the proposed continuing resolution. We actually have the statement from Donald Trump right here on Truth Social. He said, if Republicans try to pass a clean continuing resolution without all of the Democrat bells and whistles, that will be so destructive to our country. All it will do after January 20th is bring the mess of the debt limit into the Trump administration, rather than allowing it to take place in the Biden administration. Any Republican that would be so stupid as to do this should and will be primaried. Everything should be done and fully negotiated prior to my taking office on January 20th, 2025. Elon Musk, of course, said something similar. Anyone who votes for the spending deal should lose their reelection.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at some of what's in here. We've got libs of TikTok. The new congressional resolution includes funding for at least 12 new biolabs. So that's something nobody wants, especially considering 2020. We got this one from Benny Johnson. The woke continuing resolution bill mentions changing the term offender to justice-involved individual. Oh, I like that.
Yes.
It says Section 338 of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act is amended in the heading by striking offender and inserting justice-involved individual. And in the matter preceding subparagraph
The
A.
irony being that that's a person who is actually conducting himself
Just pull the mic out.
in an unjust way. That's the least. It's the rest of us who follow the law are the justice-involved individuals.
Yeah.
It's the criminals who are the non-justice-involved individuals.
Yes. This is my favorite one, though. Justice-involved individual. It's like the George Carlin bit, where he's like, we keep making words into phrases, making them longer and longer because we're trying not to offend people, and all we're doing is making it more confusing. Well, I think this is based, and I think the bigger picture here is that Trump has made several moves that have been not so good. Chad Chronister, he was the sheriff who arrested a pastor during lockdown because he was trying to host services. And Trump overtly said, I pushed him out because I didn't like what he had done. So here we are now. This is a continuing resolution coming through. It is amazing to have Trump back in the seat of power. He's not there just yet. But when you had the midterms with Matt Gaetz and he was fighting Kevin McCarthy and he was saying, we want single issue spending bills, they basically said, screw you. We're not going to let you do it. And it was a war. Now that Trump is back in the kitchen, all of these people are starting to fall in line knowing this will be the end of their career if they defy not just Trump, but basically the richest guy in the world and the popular mandate.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And people are pretending to be really offended by it. But in fact, all it is a transparent version of what always happens, and certainly happens in the Democratic Party. The Democrats have party discipline. How do you enforce party discipline? Shekels. Money. The donors, Musk is doing it publicly.
Do you guys feel like this is a positive or a negative? It's my sense that this is what happens regardless of whether or not the public knows about it. And the fact that Musk is putting this stuff on X for anyone that wants to go ahead and look and comment and have an opinion about, it's open for discussion. I feel like this is a good thing. And so I don't know, aside from people being like, well, he wasn't elected, which fair enough, he wasn't, but he's just doing the same kind of activism that anyone else could do. It's just that because he's Elon Musk, he gets a lot of attention. If Tim does the same thing, he'll get a certain level of response and he'll be able to generate a certain amount of political activity just by saying, we need to oppose this, blah, blah, blah. Why would it be wrong that Musk does it? And so what are your thoughts on it?
I think Elon Musk's bully pulpit is a little bit more potent than Tim's because he's the CEO of Twitter. Not only that, his threats mean a lot more than a threat from Tim Pool. Tim Pool says, I'm going to support a primary challenger.
Forget that I mentioned Tim then. It's not about Tim. I'm talking about
Look what you did to him.
What do you think?
Look what you did to Tim.
No, it's just that if Elon Musk wanted to, he could comfortably fund a primary challenger.
Think it's a good or a bad thing? That's the heart of my question.
When he's on my side, I think it's a good thing. When he's not, I don't. I don't know. Is that too nakedly partisan?
Well, it's pragmatism.
Ron,
what do you think?
I think it's exactly what you guys said. I mean, he is. I do think that it makes a difference. I'll say this much: it does make a difference that it is now publicly again, I think the transparent aspect of it is a plus for American politics. It's a plus for democracy. And it also draws on, what are the two big disadvantages conservatives and Republicans, and to the extent that Venn diagram has a very large intersection, then great, have had in messaging and in political pressure. It has been the fact that the organs of information have been in the hands of adversaries. Now you have someone who is pretty conservative, who is utilizing the crowd-sourced nature. I don't want to overstate the case, because we were talking about the mysteries of monetization on X before we went on. It's not quite a truly democratic, but it's as democratic and meritocratic as any source of news and information in world history. Period.
I think it also relates to money in politics. Maybe, Ron, you could tell us a little bit more about how you think that plays into this. I forgot the important case that that precluded a lot of. I can pull it up.
Well, when I first attended the Lincoln Douglas debate, okay, I can tell you.
Citizens United. That's what I was trying to reference. Liam.
Okay, that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about my childhood. During shortly before the Civil War. I had to prompt them, okay, about the Lincoln Douglas debate. That's the level of sophistication in this room, folks. Citizens United. Well, look, Citizens United. How is it that you think that this affects?
No, because I guess the threat is down. Like, he's threatening the primary and would support them with his own money.
All right, but that. It has always been the case that that money is extremely powerful and influential in politics.
I mean, well, when people talk about Citizens United, they get so wrapped up in whether or not it's fair and stuff, and I can't help but think about the fact that Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton when she spent $1 billion. Barack Obama spent $1 billion, and his party is ostensibly opposed to Citizens United. Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris when she spent $1 billion. So as much as people much as people like to go ahead and make hay about the fact that there's money in politics, it doesn't directly translate to victories. It does not, no matter what anyone says. And when you see that the massive amounts of money, Donald Trump has outspent like 3 to 1.
Well, keep in mind though, you're talking about presidential elections. And people who are nationally famous, like Donald Trump is famous. Well, of course, keep in mind he's famous for being wealthy. He's famous for being wealthy. So can't say money not a thing. At the congressional level, all members of Congress do is raise money. That's their entire political existence. And if one person can step into a district and write a 7-8 figure check or one pack, that someone who wasn't part of the political ecosystem in that district yesterday, that's a massive game changer.
Yes. I don't disagree. I just don't think that the money is a 1-to-1 correlation the way that people
that's right. It's not and yet it's scary enough, and that's you're 100% right. It's not. Incumbency is an incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And yet it scares these guys enough, just the prospect of having that influx of money. But not only that, going back to my earlier point, not just the money, but Elon Musk and other and influencers who are not as big as Elon Musk, but who are big. People like Jack Posobiec, okay? They can put together a true public reaction to a political moment in a very short time. And by the way, one of the fascinating things that happened with this bill was that they tried the old midnight spring it on them, and everyone just started dumping it into AI processors. And boom, all of a sudden, these, this tool, which we all agree is going to destroy our lives and our personalities and our careers, is helping save the republic a little bit, because we're able to, to get this information from this encyclopedia-sized bill. So,
I guess
cool stuff's happening.
What do you guys think about Elon Musk specifically whipping for this funding bill? Like, he's getting into the weeds. I don't know. Do you guys think this is below him? Do you think he's getting a little bit too involved?
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Also, this is not mere. This bill. When we learn what was in this bill, there's stuff in there that was designed to absolutely hamstring Trump from go.
Yes, absolutely.
They
wanted to build a new, or they're going to build we were going to build a new stadium for the Washington football team, the Commanders, in a continuing resolution. Like, that is unconscionable.
That's bad enough. That's the money stuff, and the money stuff is a disaster, and we've got a big problem with the money stuff.
Yes.
But they were going to make it impossible to get the data from the January 6th committee.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, all kinds of really subversive stuff. And by the way, the agencies are already doing this themselves. I mean, there's going to be so much unrolling that Trump is going to have to do in January, giving us perhaps reason to take another look at the lame duck period for the presidency. Because, again, so much that historically depended on norms, on a certain amount of trust and statesmanship and an understanding that there's a change of government and now it's appropriate for the next president or the next House or the next Senate to be the ones to make decisions A, B, and C. That's out. It's full-scale trench warfare on every single issue, unless you're Mike Johnson.
I wonder if he's going to last as speaker, because I saw the other Republicans were standing down. I forgot who it was specifically, but a couple of reps who were upset with him in the past, Marjorie Taylor Greene in particular, I think were standing down. I don't know if there's a different consensus pick as speaker, given how slim the majorities are in the House.
If he puts this to a floor vote, if he allows this, he's going to have not just the president against him, the richest man in the world, and basically the entire popular movement.
Yeah,
I don't. His only option right now is going to be he could maybe wishy-washy say, "Look, I don't want to, but I think it should go to a vote, and we should see how people decide." And then it gets quashed. Maybe he can weasel it out that way.
I wonder what the sticking points are here, because otherwise this is just a game of chicken until
$60 billion, I think, for Ukraine, right?
Yeah, there's so much stuff in it. As an omnibus bill, there's so much stuff in it. And just to Ron's point, it is really, really, really cool that nowadays they can stuff this thing into AI, and the AI can read it and say, these are the things.
This thing was probably
That's
made
amazing.
by.
That's
I
great,
think this
right?
thing was probably made by AI.
But the point is, like, they can say, look, these are the. You can be like, hey, you can tell an AI, hey, look for these type of things, and AI can say, okay, I can look these here. These are the things that you're going to have a problem with, and the fact that they can do that in, I don't know how long it took to get it, but I figure maybe an hour. When they toss you the bill and say we have to vote on this in the morning, and some intern can go ahead and pop it in, scan it into an AI, and then the AI can say, oh, hey, these are the things that you're going to have. It's specific to the office, actually. You can tell it, which congressman or congressperson that says, these are the things that I'm concerned with. And then the AI can say, these are the things that you're going to have a problem with in this bill. And then they can say, wait a minute, these things are just beyond the pale. That's really, really, really valuable, not just to individual congresspeople, but to the American people, like to the population, because they can then have the opportunity to put things onto X, just like Musk did, and say, hey, we've got a massive problem with this particular bill. And it's going to make it so that way omnibus bills are less likely to be passed. And hopefully that will mean that they'll stop trying to do omnibus bills.
Cernovich made a great point earlier today. He said this trope that so-called government shutdowns always hurt Republicans. He said that's 2012 thinking. We're not there. We're not there anymore. First of all, if that's the lumps we have to take, then let's take it. The election just ended.
Yep.
Okay. We've got 2 years for the public to forget about the government shutdown that was a month after the election. We can handle that. Meanwhile, we have ways of getting out messages, which is how this topic started out, that we didn't have when the whole world was still relying on what did the Times say and what did Dan Rather say. Those days are over.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.